This is the all-new Community Connection. I'm your host, Jade, Harrell, keeping you connected to our community. Well, many thousands are taking part in the Special Olympics Summer Games in a fun new way, and we have culminated the games that we have here in Missouri. We are moving toward regionals and finals and all sorts of great activities, but we are preparing something even greater to remain continually involved and prepared for the games to come. I'm joined today by Gary Wilbers, who is the Capital Campaign Chair. Welcome, Gary.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, this is an exciting time.
It really is. We're going to change the landscape of what Special Olympics in Missouri does with creating this Training for Life campus. And a lot of people say, well, what is that? The best way to explain it is it's really like the Olympic training facility for our state of Missouri athletes that's in Special Olympics, because we have over 21 sports that they can compete in. This is their training facility that they can become their best.
That's right. So that would be year-round, huh?
That will be year-round. Like, give you an example now, we have one camp a year that they're able to go to, and it's being held actually next week in Mexico, Missouri. With the new campus, we're going to be able to have camps. Our first year, we want to have over 30 camps that athletes throughout the state of Missouri can come in and train in a specific sport or maybe multiple sports while they're in camp.
Amazing. Now, you've been working at this for a while. Let's talk about the scope of the campaign. When you all first started out at the drawing board, what did it look like, and where are we today?
Oh, my. That would take a long time. I'll give you the short version, though. Really what happened was we saw the need that our athletes want to be able to train, compete, and be their best. And this was back around the 2007, 2008. I was not on the board at that time, but some really forward-thinking individuals said, we need to have a facility that we can train them up to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. And now you look where we're at today. The interesting part is it's not just about training. One of the big things we're doing with our athletes now, and our athletes go out and speak on their behalf, is what we call leadership training.
Oh.
Because one of the facts that I always talk about is 52% of our athletes that are in our program work in the workplace. Mm-hmm. So they're making a difference in society.
Yeah.
Versus the population that's ID'd, that's 10%. So it shows by them doing sport, they end up getting more skills, too, because those leadership skills that go right along with that. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things that will be in the campus. When they come in, they'll definitely train and compete, but they'll also be getting some leadership skills on how to lead their life, or maybe on job interviews, or to go out and be what we call a global messenger. They'll get those in classroom setting while they're in camp also.
Mm-hmm. That's powerful. Now, we're talking about a wide range of athletes from a wide range of disciplines and ages even. Talk a little bit about Special Olympics overall, and then also Special Olympics of Missouri.
Yeah. Well, Special Olympics overall is 8 to really any age, up to 100. We had someone just compete at the state games that they were in their 80s. So it gives that wide range there. And then we have instituted in Missouri, as well as some other programs throughout the Special Olympics side of it, what we call a young athlete program. Mm-hmm. And that's from 3 to 8. So, of course, those are different types because of their skill level, but it gives them an introduction into what Special Olympics will be. And they'll be able to come in, have that athlete training at a very young age, and then move right into our program when they're 8 years old. Because we used to always hear, but my son or daughter is only 5. Now we have some camps for them and some things that they can do with the young athlete program, and then when they become 8, they can become full-fledged into our program.
Right.
So statewide, that's really the big thing that we're pushing is, number one, it works in the local area, all the Special Olympics do, but of course the statewide organization is kind of the center, the hub to it. And that's kind of what this facility will be with our campus. It's going to be that center, that hub. Our competitions will still be throughout Missouri. Missouri.
Okay.
But when they train, that's when they would come into Jefferson City. Now, they'll still train in their local area, too, but it's when they want to increase that training. Like, we just had a new sport added a couple years ago, flag football. Well, it's just starting to catch on. They love it. And it's now they can come in and train and learn all the rules and kind of how it works with flag football throughout the state, and then they can start a program in their area. So it allows us to expand programs as we go along.
Well, that takes it beyond the fact that the games is the apex of what they're doing. There's way more to it than just the actual competition.
Yeah, we have over 200 different competitions throughout a year. So as a board member, when we get asked, when are the Special Olympics Games? It's kind of like, well, about every other day.
Well, what's the value in that? Let's share a bit about the message that we want to share.
Yes, I think the biggest is, I always have to tell a personal story. My golf partner, he has Down syndrome, and Keith's his name. And we play what we call unified golf. So it's supposed to be, one regular person and one person with disabilities. Keith has very high functioning capabilities and wants to be able to compete. Well, when we go out on the golf course, to be quite honest, Keith is the better athlete because he loves the sport. I like to play, but I don't get to play enough on it. But he allows me to go out, enjoy that sport with him, something that he enjoys that we do together. And we've won several gold medals on the local competitions and then go in the state competition. And the privilege, though, is the thing is, so many people say, well, Gary, that's nice what you do for Special Olympics. To be quite honest, I tell people all the time, I get more back in return. Because when I see the disabilities and the challenges they have, some days we sometimes think the worst thing's happening, if the computer's not running right or this is not happening correct in your business. Well, when I'm out with them, I realize that really that's small potatoes compared to what's really out there in the world. So it allows us to open our eyes up. And I always say our athletes, God made them for a purpose. It's to allow us to see that, guess what? Don't worry about those small things because those are not big in the reality of things. God made us all for reasons.
Yeah, and then putting that in perspective, not only can help you and compel you where you are, but, even spur you on to be a component of action that can make a difference for somebody else. We do better when we're giving to someone else. We get over ourselves when we're in service.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They always say, what's the line? You feel better when you give than when you receive.
That's right.
And it's so true. When you think you've got a problem or you can't feel any appreciation, well, probably what you need to do is go out and help someone else, and that appreciation comes to us.
So where will the SOMO Training for Life campus be located?
It's going to be held in Jefferson, or built in Jefferson City, Missouri. We had a donor, farmer companies, and Tweehouse Excavating donate 16.5 acres to us, over $3 million of value to bring that facility in Jefferson City. We did kind of request for proposal. We did want it center of the state because, of course, they're going to come from the Boot Hill to Springfield to Kansas City to St. Louis, all those areas. So it had to be somewhat central. So we were restrictive a little bit on that, but we had a request for proposals from Columbia and Jefferson City, but when the donor stepped up in Jefferson City and said, we'll give you 16.5 acres with $3 million value, that was a pretty no-brainer for our board. We said, yes, we're coming.
Sure, pretty compelling. We'll figure out how to get everybody where they need to go thereafter. But the main thing was to establish the hub. Now, this also creates an economic opportunity. Tell us more about that.
Well, the economic opportunity is, number one, when our athletes come in, they'll be staying in hotels in the local area. Of course, they'll be shopping. Some of their families will be coming out. The other side of it is really the economic opportunity that we're going to give our athletes, because one of the pieces we haven't talked about, there's kind of the three legs. There's the training, there's a leadership component, but the third component is what we call healthy athletes. A lot of our athletes don't get some of their basic medical attention because, of course, they have bigger issues. So when they come in, we have 8 disciplines that they'll go through, like Fit Feet, Healthy Hearing, Health Promotion, Special Smiles, all these different screenings. So when they come through for camp, they're not going to just train. They're not just going to get leadership training. They're also going to get screened. And we will be the only facility, not only in the United States at the time it's built, but in the world that has all three disciplines within their facility. There's some other Special Olympics that have built training facilities, but they do not have that third component of the Healthy Athlete Initiative. And that's, to be quite honest, it's probably the one I'm most excited about, is that part of it, because, you know, we've had athletes before not able to see or catch a ball, and you think it's because of their disability, and then they go through Healthy Eyes, and we found out they needed glasses.
Right.
They get glasses, and they catch the ball for the very first time.
Man, what does that do for you to see those kinds of transformations happen?
The stories are unbelievable, and, you know, our athletes are just so amazing. Share one more quick story.
Yeah,
Rob was on our board, and for 8 years, there's 4 meetings a year. Rob never missed a meeting, and he's not from Jefferson City, so he had to travel from Boonville to Jefferson City, about an hour away, but never missed a meeting. Well, Rob's the type that he loves to compete and loves that part of it, but of course he showed himself through the board leadership, how leadership is, number one, being there. And we now have an award on our board. If any board member makes it 8 years without ever missing a meeting, they get the Rob Eichelberger Award that we named in his honor.
Wow.
But the thing about Rob was so cool is we've been doing this campaign about every 2 to 3 weeks. He'll send me a text, and he'll say, Gary, how are we doing on the campaign? And he'd always give me an encouragement part, and I always would tell people the part I can't wait to see is the day we open the facility and see our athletes' faces. And one of those times he sent me back, and I said something of that nature, Rob, we're getting real close to getting towards our goal. And Rob said, or I said something of the nature, I can't wait to see your face. Rob sends me back a text, and he says, Gary, I can't wait to see your face the day we open the facility.
Oh, wow.
And he's right, because I'm going to be with big smiles with a lot of other people
and your
there.
chest is going to hurt because you'll be so proud. It's going to be thrilling. So when is the anticipated opening? I know there's a lot of work to be done, but when do you all anticipate being ready to go?
Sure. We're designing the facility now. March of next year, we plan on construction starting. It's about a year project. Of course, because of weather, we won't say it's just a year, but spring of 2017, early summer, or 2018, we plan on opening this facility and having our first camps in 2018. And that should be a fun class that gets to come in and be that very first class that comes in when we open the facility. But our goal is to have it open in early spring to summer of 2018.
Super cool. So how can we help?
Well, the biggest is just still know that we need some help. If there's anyone out there willing to give, if they go to SOMO.org, there's a place on their website that you can get more information about the SOMO campus. Check that out. We have capability if people are looking for tax credits. We have Missouri Development Finance Board tax credits. So if you pay taxes in the state of Missouri, we can give you some benefits back for that. And all that's detailed out on our website. And then the other one is just, encourage the athletes. And the other thing I tell you, in your local area, go volunteer. And if you go on the website, the volunteer opportunities are there, the upcoming events, they'll give you the dates. But, if you're in St. Louis, you're in Kansas City, wherever you're at, there's local volunteer opportunities right in your area. You'll never regret it for a minute.
I
did that in 2000. It did that in 1994.
And you've been hooked ever since.
2016, I've been doing it since.
All right. That Special Olympics Missouri website is SOMO, SOMO.org. You can engage with them on Twitter at SO Missouri or on Facebook at Special Olympics MO. Thank you, Gary Wilbers, Capital Campaign Chair for Special Olympics Missouri, and I certainly appreciate you sharing all this great, wonderful news with us today.
Well, thank you for allowing me to, and everyone make it a blessed day.
All right, that's it for this week. If you have questions or comments or have something you'd like to include in the community calendar, you can leave a message on our message box at 314-333-8369, 314-333-8369. And for more information about our show or any of our guests, you can visit us online and listen to the podcasts at Spreaker.com. That's SPREAKER.com. And search Community Connection with Jade Harrell. You all be blessed, do blessed, and take care.